Oftentimes, when a person's dealing with an issue, a personal demon, so to speak, they have a tendency to lash out at people that are going through something similar. For example, the bully in high school who was always picking on the kid that was openly gay. You find out years later that the bully was actually gay himself. Or the fat girl in high school who was always tearing other girls down based on their physical appearance. She was doing that to make herself feel better, to make herself feel superior because she was uncomfortable in her own skin. Heavy Helen, she was always dateless on Friday night. None of the boys ever asked her to the prom. She sees all her beautiful girlfriends getting laid while her romantic life is non-existent and the batteries in her vibrator just died. She leads a miserable existence. That saying, misery loves company, that is a true statement. Hurt people hurt people. People leading happy lives, they don't go around throwing false accusations at other people. The gay bully, the miserable fat girl, they want their peers to be as miserable as they are. I remember when I was in high school, we had several fat girls that were the meanest girls in the school. All us guys, we always would joke around and say, if you're going to be the fat girl, you better have a great personality because you can't be fat and be mean. Anyway, the point is, oftentimes people will accuse others of doing or being something that they themselves are guilty of. For years now, WNBA participant Liz Cambage, she has leveled accusations of mythical racism at any white person that crossed her path. She's accused America of being a racist country, which I really have a problem with. It's one thing for someone born in America to accuse their home country of racism. It's still bullshit. It's bullshit. These multi-millionaire black athletes accusing the country that afforded them the opportunity to make millions of dollars, accusing that country of mythical racism. I'm pretty sure if America was prejudiced against black people, we wouldn't be the home of the highest population of black millionaires in the world. All these athletes in bed with China claiming America should be more like China. If living in China is so great, why don't you take your ass over there? Go tell Xi Jinping the Chinese government is racist. LeBron James found unconscious in Beijing. Chinese government reports LeBron was sleeping in his hotel room when the ceiling mysteriously fell on him. Chinese authorities are calling this a freak accident. Even though it's complete bullshit, it is one thing for an American to call America racist. At least you're from here. You're our problem. But it's completely different. When you're from another country, you're in America to make money, to take advantage of the system, and you have the audacity to call us racist. That is exactly what Liz Cambage has done the last couple of years. She has denigrated this country. Hell, she shit all over the WNBA. I'm the best basketball player in the world. I can make more money in Australia. I can make more money in Russia. You are not the best basketball player in the world. The WNBA is not basketball. It's an exercise program for women who look like men. There is no such thing as a great basketball player in the WNBA. But if you can make more money in Australia or Russia, that's great. Why don't you pack your bags and take your woke fungus over there? Don't forget your mustache. But packing your bags, that might be a little bit of a problem for Liz Cambage. For one, many WNBA players are scared to play in Russia right now. They wouldn't mind snuggling up next to Brittany Griner. They just don't want to make woke love to her in a Russia prison. If they're going to make woke love to Brittany Griner, they prefer it to take place at the Four Seasons paid for by woke welfare. Liz Cambage, though, she can't play in Australia either, her home country. Like America, on several occasions, Liz Cambage has accused her home country of being racist. The difference, though, between Australia and America, Australia isn't tolerating her bullshit. Here in America, when someone like Liz Cambage denigrates the country, the New York Times calls them a hero of social justice. Here in America, when someone like Liz Cambage turns herself into a professional victim, ESPN calls her a fighter for women's rights. She's fighting for all women to be paid their value. All right. Okay, that's fine. Everyone should be paid what they're worth. Looking at Liz Cambage and the value she provides, her pay should be zero. Matter of fact, she should be paying us for dealing with her shit. This woman is absolutely useless. Australia, they have completely absolved themselves from Liz Cambage. Check this out. When the leader of the Australian national team was asked if Liz Cambage would be welcomed back to the team, roll the film.
So she says she never felt supported in the team that you led. How do you respond to that?
I can hold my head up high and say that I always loved her, always cared for her, always supported her, always had her back. I think that is her reality, and I think the listeners and watchers out there can believe who they want to believe. But yeah, I can hold my head up high.
Will she ever play for Australia again, do you think?
No.
I have a question. How come we don't do this same thing here in America? The Australian national team, they are using the incident that happened before the Olympics last summer as the reason Liz Cambage is no longer welcome on the team. I think they are using that as a scapegoat. I think they got tired of the woman they supported growing up turning on them and calling them racist. But if they want to use that incident last summer as the reason, fine. I agree with it. Kick her ass off the team. But how come we don't do the same thing here in America? Does anyone want LeBron James playing on Team USA? During the Tokyo Olympics last summer, America had a roster full of athletes that hated the country. It just doesn't make any sense. Liz Cambage, though, she has made enemies all over the world. She has spent the last few years spreading her hate and misery. She graduated from Woke U in 2018, majoring in plight of the black victim, taught by your favorite huge embarrassing failure, Bomani Jones. The people who paint themselves as victims of racism are oftentimes racist themselves. Bobo, for example. Bobo hates white people. Jamel Hill doesn't like white people. Keith Olbermann hates white people. And now we have Liz Cambage, the ultimate victim of American oppression, accused of being a racist herself. A couple of weeks ago, I shared with you guys the incident that happened between Liz Cambage and members of the Nigerian Olympic team last summer. Australia, Nigeria, they were playing in a scrimmage. Something happened that pissed off Liz Cambage. Now, my inside sources tell me one of the Nigerian players thought Liz Cambage was a man, and she was insulted by this accusation. I mean, these Nigerian women, they were just trying to make sure the game was being played fairly. Unlike here in America, over in Nigeria, women compete against women. They don't allow men to compete against women. One of these Nigerian women thought Liz Cambage was a fucking man. And that is not a far-fetched accusation. Have you seen Liz Cambage? She's one mustache hair away from being confused with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Anyway, Liz Cambage got in her feelings over the accusation. A scuffle ensued, and she allegedly told the Nigerian players to go back to their third world country. Over the weekend, the Daily Telegraph in Australia, they released their investigation into this incident from last summer. The Daily Telegraph is reporting, not only did Liz Cambage tell the Nigerian players to go back to their third world country, she also told the coach to control his monkeys. So we have the victim of mythical racism being accused of real racism. What makes this situation even more ironic? Liz Cambage's biological father is from Nigeria. Before the scrimmage last summer, she was telling Nigerian players that she wishes she was playing on their team because Australia is full of racists. I mean, you just can't make this shit up. The victim of mythical racism, accusing the two countries that afforded her the opportunity to be rich of racism, displaying her blatant racism against her father's native country. Typically, when accusations like this come out against someone, they will have their group of defenders. For example, when Drew Brees was being shit on by woke dumbasses a couple of years ago for saying that he would never kneel for the national anthem, a lot of people came out to defend Drew Brees. Even guys like Malcolm Jenkins, who didn't agree with what he said, came out and defended Drew Brees because they knew his heart. They knew Drew Brees was a good dude. Guess how many people have come out to defend Liz Cambage? Zero. Not one teammate, not one coach, not one member of the media. The mainstream media blindly defends the WNBA. Not even ESPN is defending Liz Cambage right now. This woman is essentially persona non grata. She's not wanted here in America. She's not wanted home in Australia. The Australian media has completely turned on Liz Cambage. Now, of course, she is trying to downplay what happened last summer. One of the courses offered in the Plight of the Black Victim program at Woke U is titled, "When Accused of Racism, Always Deny the Claim." It teaches students how to properly deflect their own behavior and spin the situation to make themselves the victim. This tactic has actually been effectively used by woke dumbasses in the past, but unfortunately for Liz Cambage, she skipped most of the classes that semester. My sources tell me she was playing a lot of woke cornhole during that time. Check out this Instagram post where Liz Cambage tries to absolve herself. As you can see, she attempts to turn herself into the victim. I was physically assaulted. I was given a Bomani Jones level bobo. It really hurt me physically and mentally. She claims this situation was handled privately. Several of her Australian teammates actually confirmed this by saying Liz Cambage gave them a half-hearted apology. In other words, she apologized and didn't fucking mean it. Liz Cambage basically says she wants this entire story to go away. Why are we rehashing events that happened 12 months ago? Are you fucking kidding me? You dumbass social justice warriors, you'll go back 12 years to accuse someone of mythical racism. Now that it's you being accused of real racism, you just want the story to go away. And you're also full of shit, Liz Cambage. You didn't walk away from the confrontation. You eventually elbowed a Nigerian player so hard, she had to get fucking stitches. Now, of course, Liz Cambage, she called this elbow unintentional. This woman is a disgrace. You know how shitty of a person you have to be the most hated player in the WNBA? Hell, you know how shitty of a person you have to be not be welcomed back to your home country? Liz Cambage is like the teenager whose parents can't wait until they turn 18. Please get out of this house. This is what happens when you make a career of shitting on people who always supported you. This is what happens when you falsely accuse everybody of racism. If you're gonna do that, you better have a clean closet, because when you're accused of doing the same, no one comes out to support you. But let me know what you think. Liz Cambage, the purveyor of propaganda when it comes to mythical racism, being accused of being a racist. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.